Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, tough loss to the Brooklyn Nets tonight. Some testy calls down the stretch, bad calls down the stretch. Gave us this loss tonight. Some bad plays by a lot of our Julius Randle, I'll say. I don't want to say a lot of our players. He had some bad plays down the stretch of the game, especially that technical foul. I don't know if the technical foul ended up costing us the game, but it almost cost us the game. That's a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. Although he did have 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, shot 50% from the field. Not a bad game, but, Julius Randle's got to start making better decisions in these basketball games, man. He can't continuously get technical fouls when the Knicks need points. We've had trouble scoring all season long. We can't give points away to the opposing team. Just can't happen. Alec Burks starting at point guard over Kemba Walker at 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Derrick Rose had 16 points and 9 rebounds. 13 points from Evan Fournier, a big 3 to tie the game down the stretch of the game, although he wasn't able to hit the last one. Came close. Threw it up just over half court. Came close, but he wasn't able to convert it. 12 points for Emmanuel Quickley, 8 points for Obi Toppin. Also 7 rebounds for Emmanuel Quickley. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically the story of the game right there. The Knicks, they started off strong, had a 1-point lead at halftime, had another one of those terrible third quarters, and let the Brooklyn Nets take a 16-point lead. A 16-point lead by the Brooklyn Nets, but the Knicks fought back. Took a lead in the fourth quarter, but they weren't able to close it out. They lost 112 to 110. I got Ron with me. We got Eric L. Beats. I know you guys know who Eric L. Beats is. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it, man. Eric, your thoughts, man. I know you want to get some things off your chest. Your thoughts about this game.
Oh, man. Oh, man. As my guy Ron Cleveland would say, man. I mean, the opportunities that the Knicks had in the fourth quarter to win the game, it was typical cardiac Knicks game. You had a good first quarter, a second quarter. The bench came in, they got the energy, they got the lead. They let the Nets get back into the game. The third quarter, the third quarter of doom, I always call it. The Nets had a 16-point lead, and we thought that it was going to get away from it as usual. But the thing was that the Knicks held down the fort, and they called a couple of timeouts early in the third quarter to stem the tie, because I thought if Tibbs didn't call that timeout in the middle of the third quarter, it would have been up by 20, 25 points, and then who knows how the game would have went. But the fact that the Knicks cut it down to 4 to end the third quarter let us know that, okay, we're in for a dogfight. And guess what? The fourth quarter was a all-out, drag-out dogfight, as all these Knicks games have been all season long. I thought the Knicks left a couple possessions on the table, on the floor in the fourth quarter, especially in the last 3 minutes. You saw them, both teams were really staggering, both on offense, because you kind of knew that once the Knicks got the lead, you knew that it was gonna be a real dogfight going into the last minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. I thought Obi Toppin should have played a little bit more minutes in the fourth quarter, and there was a little picture I seen on Twitter where Obi gave Tom Thibodeau a little look, like, why you take him out the game. So that's another story from hearing for another time. But I thought Obi should have played a little bit more minutes in the fourth quarter, just to give him more energy, because Randle, after that little groin pull he had in the third, late third, early fourth, he was kind of laboring a little bit. But him and Burks, they held on and they gave the Knicks a little push. That technical foul by Randle was real unfortunate, though. At that time of the game when KD hit that jump shot that put him up by 2 points, 109, 107, I believe, and then Randle got hit with a technical, they put him up 3.
Right.
Now you behind the 8 ball because you don't have that many possessions left at that time to make up those points. Because you have to make sure that you at least get to at least by 3 points or 2 points or 1 point, 1 point or 2 points the most. Because you had Kevin Durant starting to cook a little bit. James Harden, he wasn't scoring as much in the first half, but at the same time, your defense held on, and I thought that was a little bit of a turning point. But at the same time, a couple possessions there with that Randle turnover, that was a bad one late in the fourth quarter. You had a chance to tie the game, take the lead on a couple of occasions, and then the last possession with James Johnson drove down the lane with 3 seconds left, and with with Mitch with that ticky-tack foul. Oh, and another thing I want to get on. The Nets had 25 free throws to the Knicks 12. You mean to tell me that the Nets were getting all these calls left and right with Scott Foster officiating the game, as we all know how he officiates the game. Meanwhile, the Knicks were going into the lane, getting mauled left and right, but they're swallowing the whistles left and right. I don't know if I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. But listen, you cannot have the foul discrepancies in that type of game like that, where one team has 2 superstars and you'll let them get away with murder on the floor. Meanwhile, the Knicks, I know they're a scrappy, tough, defensive-minded team, but come on, guys, you gotta look at it evenly. You gotta ref the game as efficiently and down the middle as possible. You cannot have the foul discrepancy in that type of game and call it the same way. You cannot do that. But Brooklyn made their free throws. They made the plays they made down the stretch. The Knicks, they fell short, and it is what it is. The Nets win by 2. You gotta live with it. But I also like the way that the Knicks competed, though. I think coming off the last game against the Hawks, I thought that the Knicks had a good chance to win this game, and they were right there in the fourth quarter. But the late plays down the stretch, James Harden, Kevin Durant. If you have those 2 snipers, the two alphas on your team, most of the time you can win those games. So
it was a tough one. Looking at the numbers, 50 rebounds for the Knicks, 45 for the Brooklyn Nets. Both teams had 27 assists, which is good. That's good for the Knicks. 27 to 6. That's really good for the Knicks. Knicks are normally somewhere around 18 to 22 assists. 27 assists is really good for the Knicks. 5 steals for the Knicks, 7 steals for the Brooklyn Nets. Only 2 blocks for the Knicks tonight, 7 for the Nets. 10 turnovers for the Knicks. Both teams kept turnovers low. 10 for the Knicks, 9 for the Nets. The Knicks shot 48% from the field. So did the Nets. The Nets 34% from 3. The Nets shot 28% from 3. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the Knicks kind of did a good job against this team. The Knicks shot 91.7% from the free throw line and 88% from the free throw line for the Nets. The Knicks had 52 points in the paint. That's a lot for the Knicks. 52 points in the paint. 46 for the Nets. 16 for the Knicks. 16 second chance points for the Knicks, 12 for the Nets. The Nets did have 19 fast break points. The Knicks had 13 fast break points. The Knicks, they played a good game. When you look at the numbers, they played a good game. Some mental errors, some mental mistakes. The Knicks have been having them all season long. But, to take the Nets down to the wire, I still think we could do better. Right? We could do better. But it was a tough one. They did a good job on KD tonight. I don't know if they did a good job or KD was just off, whichever one you want to say. Right? But KD had 27 points still. 27 points. I guess that's doing a good job on KD. He only shot 39% from the field, and he was 0 for 5 from the three-point line. James Harden, though, he had 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. He was 55% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. 12 points for Cam Thomas, 10 points for Patty Mills. But in the end, it was James Johnson who sealed the game for the Brooklyn Nets. Ron, your thoughts, man?
Well, first off, I'm mad that you mentioned once again that it's James Johnson who sealed the game. You don't understand how much I hate James Johnson. I've never liked James Johnson. When he was with Miami, I hated this dude.
James Johnson.
But, it comes down to the Knicks played a good game. Unfortunately, they got a little out of sorts, especially Julius. Julius was going crazy with the refs. And they got nobody to blame but themselves. If they played a clean third quarter, we're walking home with a victory. That's
true.
Bottom line.
That is true.
Like, I don't understand what's going on with this team. Why we're having all these horrible third quarters. Like, we can play, and the way we play in some of these quarters, you would think we're an elite team, but it's just we can't put 4 quarters together. I don't know what it is. I just think, like, for one, this team plays so much better to the competition. We see that. I knew they were going to play better against better teams.
Right.
And they keep doing it. They keep proving me right that when they play good teams like Brooklyn and all these other teams, they want to win. They want to show that it's almost like they want to keep saying we're here. You know what I mean? Like, we're right with you guys. But, we keep losing to them. And it's always these close games. Although the good thing about it is this is the first time I can say, you know what, that the hustle, the fight, the way Julius was playing down the stretch with, not bully ball, but going inside, taking good shots, backing down his opponent. I didn't like the fall away he did on Harden. You got James Harden, one of the worst defenders in the league on you, and you want to shoot a fadeaway jumper on Harden? Come on, man. Like, certain things just don't make no sense. And thank goodness for Alec Burks. Tibbs, good job, buddy. Good job. Because Alec Burks stepped up. You know what? We needed to do this a long time ago, and I'm happy we finally did it. And also, another thing I'm happy about, although it should have never got to that point, was I'm happy when we were down 3 that he decided to put Fournier in the game. You got to give guys who can shoot the ball a chance to shoot the ball. You running out there with this team that consists of guys that they don't have a floor general. They're not used to figuring out what spots to be in because you don't got somebody setting you up. It's the fact that the Knicks are playing good basketball is a miracle. I got to tell you, the fact that we don't have a true point guard out there setting our guys up and we're still in these games is a miracle. So, hopefully we can do something, man. I'm upset, man. And the fact that James Johnson sealed our fate is just,
James Johnson.
Man.
A lot of people in the chat getting mad at us because we said Randle needs to make some better decisions. We're not saying Randle didn't play a good game, but some of the decisions he made down the stretch, especially that technical foul.
Yeah, that technical foul was not good at the end of the game.
What do you want us to say?
You're down 2. You're giving the Nets a free 1 point. Like, come on.
It hurts. Now, let me ask you. Alec Burks tonight had 25 points against the Atlanta Hawks as the starting point guard. He had 23 points. Is this what we can come to expect from Alec Burks?
Listen, the bad part is we need this from Alec Burks. And unfortunately, I mean, that's sad because we got so many good players on this team, other guys who should be stepping up. It would have been nice to see somebody else try to carry the load and get us some big baskets. But once again, I'm going to give credit to Alec Burks. You see him out there. This guy is giving his all. He's falling up. He's bumping into dudes. He's dribbling. He's trying to go behind the back. He's getting fouled. Like, he's doing everything to help us. And then he's also got to be the guy to score the buckets for us, too. Like, this should come down to Julius Randle, number 1. And then if he doesn't have it, he needs to find whoever else is on the court. That's fine. That's his role.
Right.
But outside of Alec Burks trying to be the starting point guard, facilitating and doing other things for us, he can't be, counted upon to give us 20-something points. Like, that role kind of went out the way. When you said, now Alec Burks is the starting point guard, now you don't expect him to give us 20-something points. It's nice if he does, but he's got to get other guys involved. That's just what he has to do. That's his role now, whether we like it or not, whether he's better at scoring.
Is it his role or is it Randle's role? Well, according to Tibbs, let's say that. Is it his role or is it Randle's role? I don't think Tibbs is expecting Alec Burks to all of a sudden become this master distributor and facilitator. I think he wants Randle to be that.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's the reason why I think he's okay with not having that type of point guard on the floor, because I think he's expecting Randle to be that. Whether or not we like it, I think he's expecting Julius Randle to be that facilitator for him and to spray the ball around.
you may be right. And I'm not killing Randle, guys. Randle had a great game tonight. If you look at his numbers, he almost had a triple-double. Randle played 95% of a good basketball game. That 5% was them crazy technical fouls and little stupid errors that hurt us. That's not what cost us the game. I'm not going to blame Randle for us losing the game. I'm going to blame that third quarter and us not coming up big and stepping up when we should. If we play better in that third quarter, we're not even talking about Randle. If anything, we're talking about, wow, Randle had a good night. But this is what it is. This is the Knicks.
Yeah. What do you think? Is this what we can expect from Alec Burks going forward?
I think you're gonna have to expect that from him because he's a bigger guard. He wants size on the perimeter. You got that from him tonight. There was several times where Burks got into the paint and got no foul call. But he held his own. He had the 25 points. But also, I thought that he's kind of stabilized the team a little bit. Also, alongside with Randle, those two kind of feed off each other much better than Randle and Kemba.
Yeah,
that's my observation. And also with RJ playing only 9 minutes because of the illness, it kind of took away that firepower that the Knicks needed with RJ being out. Now you add more minutes to Quickly and to Derrick Rose. That kind of tired him out both a little bit late in the game.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen, I think you mentioned it earlier, a little bit more of Quentin Grimes. He started the third quarter, but he only played 2 minutes and 33 seconds. It would have been nice to let him get a few more minutes out there. I understand he basically didn't want to mess up his rotation of, Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickly and the way that he brings him in the game. But he ended up doing it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? He ended up doing it anyway. So if you're just going to play in 2 minutes and 33 seconds, you might as well just either go with Quickly or go with Rose.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you're going to put him out there, let him get a few more minutes than that.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been arguing about that with Tiz for a long time. Anyway, I mean, he's a guy that can play defense. Maybe he didn't feel like this level of basketball game, this intense of a basketball game, he was ready for. I don't know, but I do want to let everybody know there's a mic right there. So if some people, have something that you want to say, just step up to the mic, and we can get you on so we can hear what you got to say. Just step up to the mic. We are gonna switch out, every in a couple minutes, and get some other takes up here because I know we got some other people that got some takes and want to say a few things. All right. And I see we got somebody coming up to the mic now. Who's that? John? Yeah, John, what's going on, man?
What's going on with y'all? Everything good?
Oh. Let me turn you down just a little bit. Go ahead. You should be good.
All right. Yes, sir.
There you go.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir. What's up, Ron?
Hey, what's up, John? Long time no see, baby.
This was a tough one, bro. This was a tough one. I want to say we played a really good game. I like their energy to start the game. I think you guys hit on it when you said there was a lack of energy and rhythm coming into the third quarter. And, coming back from a lead like that, it's tough. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to make sure that, we come out with some more energy and really run the offense. I think I was talking to Eru when we were watching the game, and basically what we were saying was like, there's no offensive scheme. Like right now, we're coming in and we're starting our sort of offense. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. It's like we're coming in, no one's setting any offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And at that point, you're at a disadvantage, especially against a good defensive team, which Brooklyn is not at this point. You know what I mean? So for us, it's about getting out early and starting our offensive rotations early in the shot clock so that we have an opportunity to take good shots and not force up shots like we were.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because that's not something that we've really done all season long. Do you think it gets better with Alec Burks running, that point guard, or if he's relying on Julius Randle still to be the facilitator? I don't see where that I don't know if that's going to change much, but I agree with you. You know, we get started earlier. That means we're playing a little bit faster. We get the defense moving earlier. You know.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I don't see that we're going to change anytime soon. But it's about the commitment of the players. Are they willing to put in that effort? You know, I mean, when you look at the way Quickly played, fast tempo, coming in, bringing up the ball early in the shot clock, and not necessarily this game, but the game prior. You know, that's the sort of offense we need to start. You know, we need to start early, get into our scheme early, and then take advantage of those of other teams' weaknesses. And right now, we ain't doing that. So.
Right. I agree with you 100%, man. We'll see. I mean, Tom Thibodeau is making some adjustments. You know what I mean? And we'll see if he continues to make adjustments to help the team get better. Shout out to Andrew Nash. Thank you for the super chat. He said Tom was making some great lineup adjustments, pulling players when needed with no hesitation. But this wasn't a Noel type of a game. Obi needed more times, and Grimes needed more time for his defense. I agree.
I agree.
Obi Toppin played 11 minutes. Obi played 11 minutes. 11 minutes and 36 seconds to be exact. And he got pulled, I don't know, what was it?
Middle of the fourth quarter.
Middle of the fourth quarter, he got pulled.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy.
No, he was not.
No, because I was saying earlier that there's on Twitter there was a look that Obi gave to Tibbs, like, yo, why did you put me out right now? It was like, see?
Yeah, he was definitely chirping at him.
Oh yeah.
And he was.
And it's like you need Obi Toppin for those minutes to make sure that Randle's fresh in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Because you're gonna run the risk of having Randle run out of gas in these games, and by the time All-Star break comes in, you might not have no gas left.
Right.
So you need Obi Toppin to at least play. You got to play him at least 15, 20 minutes. You got to at least cut Randle's minutes like 27, 26 minutes if you can. I get it that he's your second team all NBA from last year, your All-Star from last year, but at the same time, you got Obi Toppin who's been improving lately during the season. So he's giving you so much more than he did last year. So you got to at least give him an opportunity to see what he got on the floor. And if he's playing defense better, if he's giving you that offense, cut into the rim, giving you the alley-oops, giving you that energy that you need, let him be on the floor. Let him just see what he can give you. So at the time when you get Randle back in the game, he has fresh legs into the fourth quarter, because you don't want to have him run out of gas by the time April rolls around and you're needing wins to get into the playoffs. Because you're gonna need Obi Toppin to at least play 15 to 20 minutes. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask John from Still Knick Fans, quick question.
Shameless plug.
Can y'all believe this guy?
Plug.
Don't kill me, please. I just wanted to know, what's that other show that you do that's coming on tomorrow? Nothing but Knicks.
You're talking about the NBA report?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I forgot it. I couldn't remember the name. Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that tomorrow at 8 p.m. You and that co-host of yours.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
That's what you kept me for.
Yeah, that's what I kept you for.
That's it. Anybody else? Step up to the mic. We got E-Rule. We're gonna do some rotating after E-Rule. We let you come up here, but go ahead. Let you come up here so we can rotate.
Well, Dire Knicks podcast, E-Rule, shout out to State, the Dire State of Mind. We do that whenever we get a chance, we do it. But what I want to say is this the anxiety, just watching this game, because the Knicks, we know what they can do. The template is on Phoenix. That Phoenix game, we got smacked. That's what sparked the change in the rotation with taking Kemba Walker out and putting Burke in there. The other template is the Atlanta Hawks game. When we had Quentin Grimes out there, we had everything that could go right was going right. That was the game plan. So a game like tonight, we play against the Brooklyn Nets, and we don't use the bad template or the good template. So I feel like the Knicks need to figure out. They need to watch tape. They got to figure out a way to get Julius Randle the ball in spots where he can score immediately, because he's working too hard for these points. Against Atlanta, quickly was pushing the ball up the court. We didn't really do that enough. We didn't do that until the fourth quarter. It was already too late. And I hear you guys talking about Obi Toppin. I'm not really a fan of Obi Toppin, but a game like today, like you Scott said, Nerlens Noel had no business being out there. He had 3 rebounds in the minutes that he played. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to take advantage of our strengths, then Tom Thibodeau's standing up the whole game. He's standing up the whole entire game, yelling and screaming. What is he looking at? What is he watching? Is he watching what we're watching? Because we all seem to be in agreement that everything that the Knicks are doing wrong or right. But Tom Thibodeau's right there watching, yelling and screaming. What is he looking at? So that's my frustration. So I'm just hoping that this is just like just the way that we always manage to come back. We fight for each other, that type of thing. I'm just hoping that sooner or later we figure out that Julius needs to get the ball a little deeper, so he can go across the lane and make that left-handed jump shot.
Yep.
That fadeaway jump shot, like around the dotted line, faded out to the free throw line. Those are all perfect shots, and he doesn't take it enough. It's way too much. We're wasting a lot of movements. We're wasting a lot of the things that we do that we do well. I feel like we let teams off the hook, and that's exactly what we did tonight. I feel like if he played more smarter, like just from a tactical standpoint, I think Tom Thibodeau did a good job with like the rotation and that type of thing. But just tactically, like what are you watching? Because a lot of times throughout most of the game, you have one guy standing there with 4 guys up top, waiting for one guy to do everything, and there's no ball movement and no nothing. But then out of nowhere in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden we got all this ball movement. So we need to figure it out, man. So that's the main thing. But one thing is now, I just think the fight is back. Because we got rid of Kemba, so we don't have to worry about trying to get him the ball, to get him involved and that type of thing. So yeah, man, I think we'll be all right, man. But a game like tonight, it's a game that we should have won. And there's too many of those this season.
Nah, I definitely agree with you. But do you look at a game like tonight as a step forward for the Knicks?
I mean,
do you think it was a step forward?
I think so. You know why? Because I tell you one thing. Like, this was a fun game for the fans to watch. Me personally, it's fun, but I don't like watching these games. I'll be honest. Like, I'm watching, I'm like, oh, every other play. Then Durant comes in. Oh no. Then they're coming down. I'm like, oh no. Like, it's so much. I'm going crazy inside. Like,
Right.
But I like the fact that the way they played this game was this has got to be. The Atlanta game was nice. I really liked how we played in that game, but this was the first game that I said, this is like last year. Yeah. So this is, I do like this. I think this is a step in the right direction. Okay. I agree with that.
All right. I know I heard somebody say earlier when we did the game preview that the Knicks are getting ready to go on a winning streak.
That was me. So that's why it's so frustrating, because I feel like we could have won so many of these games. We're watching right now. What is that? Golden State and who's that? Phoenix and Golden State. We should be right there with them as far as the record wise. At least 6 losses, that type of thing. We should at least be in that realm, because we lost so many games, not necessarily because of the way the other team was playing, just the way that we're playing.
Right.
We let these teams off the hook, and so many easy buckets that we could get, and it's just a lot of little stupid things, like the Julius Randle technical at the end. Just so many different things that we could have done better. Tom Thibodeau always could do better, substituting. But I feel like he's getting better now. He took a stand with the Kemba thing. So,
I mean, he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to work some new rotations now, too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, that's something that the Knicks, I think, are kind of starting over with. I don't know if they're fully starting over, but but they're developing some new rotations, because now you got Alec Burks in the starting lineup, and you got to figure out how that second group works. Right. Because now the second group is Emmanuel Quickly, Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin, Nerlens Noel. Is he going to stay with 9? Just, 9 players, 4 off the bench? Or is he going to bring in somebody else? Or is it going to be someone who's just situational and gets 3 minutes, like Grimes got 3 minutes?
Yeah, that scares me too, because RJ was sick or whatever was wrong with him.
Yeah, he had an illness.
Yeah, he had an illness, whatever. So you would think that Grimes would be the guy to take the minutes. He came in for 3 minutes, and that was it. And then he never went back to another player.
Yeah.
Now you go from a 10-man rotation all the way down to 8. You know,
Yeah.
so that just adds too much stress
Yeah.
to the situation.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, I agree. Iru, you want to come in? You want to come in?
If
Get
you
a
want
little
me to.
switch. Yeah. Come on up, Steph. You ready? Get Steph in the building. Who else we got out here that wants to?
And you know what? I wanted to say one thing real quick. You know what worries me? This is 2 games in a row that Julius had to be held back by
Exactly,
going out
yeah.
after a ref.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be surprised if the refs don't pull the mob. The refs is like the mob, man. They'll freeze him out. He won't be
Listen.
getting any calls.
I mean, listen, this started last season. This is not new to this season. This is,
Mhm.
Julius Randle was like that last year too.
Oh, and by the way,
he started building that reputation last year.
also, if you go back to last year, those two games at Barclays with the Nets, and this year, they lost last year. They lost by 1 point at Barclays. The other game lost by 2 points, and this year they lost by 2 points. That lets you know that even though they lost those close games to the Nets at Barclays, they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah.
They should have won those games. The Nets know that the Knicks should have won those games. So
Yeah.
I'm confident that with this loss, that the Knicks they're gonna at least ride the ship and see where they can improve. And come Thursday against the Bulls, they should at least be competitive and play with a much better effort, especially in that third quarter.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Eric L. Beast, this is Ron, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to switch. We got Eru, we got Steph coming up. So we'll take a second, get the little switcheroo in. Yeah. Pull this out. And I want to ask you guys when you come up, if you look at this as, well, Eru kind of answered it already. I want to know from Steph if you look at this as, kind of a turnaround for the Knicks, a big game for the Knicks, a step forward, some progress. And I also want to talk about that, the Knicks try to throw a semi-trap at Julius Randle, that last play of the game. So, I want to talk about that a little bit too. Now we got Ali. Looks like Ali has a question here. Let me get Ali up on the screen. Ali, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Sim? Salute to the chat. Salute to the mods. Knicks Nation, you know what it is. So
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
I'm not gonna let this loss, break me down. I'm not gonna let the fact that the Nets had a crazy free throw disparity break me down. Not tonight, But I can't help but notice how bad we are at defending opponents' team's point guards or any guard play. I thought for sure Grimes would get more burn as soon as we heard that RJ wasn't coming back with an illness. We saw 3 minutes. Yeah. I know Burks is a big body, 6'5", I think. We thought maybe he could do something to stop Harden. No shot. We couldn't stop Trae Young. We couldn't stop James Harden. We can't keep getting into these games without any perimeter defense. There's just no chance. We're digging ourselves way too deep because as soon as that first line of defense breaks, the defense has got to collapse. Now you're scrambling. Then they get their passes, they get the ball moving, and now they're in the groove. That's how we're having these terrible third quarters. That's how we're letting guys like Patty Mills, nobody off of their team, just get 1 3, 2 3, start the thing, momentum shifting. We're scrambling, trying to find. Tibbs got to call 1 timeout, 2 timeouts. We got to stop the ball. We got to figure out how to slow down these guards. These are the Nets. Their top dog. Who do we think? Kevin Durant. We did a solid job guarding him, I think. He shot what, 30%? Yeah, 27.
30%, yeah, something like that.
27 points. Hey, that doesn't look that good. But 30%, we'll take it for KD. He's a generational talent. But what do you got to do? You got to keep Harden in check because Harden's the lifeblood. He's passing the ball. He's getting everybody involved. Guys like LaMarcus Aldridge getting shots. Patty Mills getting shots. We don't want that. And if we can't stop Harden, we can't stop Trae Young, how are we going to stop Damian Lillard? How are we going to stop Steph Curry when he comes to town? How are we going to stop any of the guards from the East? It all starts from the top. And if we're having Burks be our starting point guard now, I'm thinking, all right, we got another offensive talent, but we didn't really do much for the defensive. I know he's a bigger body, but we're like, offense, other team, you guys can have the point guard go off for 30. You guys can have him shoot 70% at the half. We can't win like that. That's not a recipe for success. Not for us.
But do we have the players to do it?
Well, that's
the thing. Do we have?
Right.
I mean, we got Deuce on the bench, but he's not going to get it.
Deuce ain't going to get the burn. Not on Harden. No way.
Right. Definitely not on Harden.
But
who do we have that can do? I mean, he brought in. That's part of the reason why he brought in Burks, to at least have
size.
More size out there to defend opposing guards. But Burke has never been known to be a shutdown defender.
No way.
But his size does help. And Harden, Harden hasn't really been playing that well offensively as far as scoring the ball. He had, a big night tonight. Not going to be a lot of people that stop Harden, but I don't know where we find the person that's going to be able to stop these opposing guards. I don't know what it is we do besides go zone, which I don't think we're going to do. But I would use some zone if I was Tibbs, but Tibbs ain't going to use zone. We already know that.
Yeah, I think the only way that we're going to be able to do it is if we find a way as a team to slow down the guards. And then on the fast break, what's the first thing they teach you in basketball? You got to stop the ball. You got to slow down the ball. And if you're not slowing the other team down, they're going to get running. They're going to get out. They're going to get 2 points turns to 6 points. Suddenly they're up by 14. We're scratching our heads wondering what the hell's going on. And then that's just, we can't keep going down like this. We're getting out after halftime, and while we're scratching our heads looking, the other team is zipping the ball around the court. They're getting in motion and they're passing, and we can't slow them down at all. So now, you was asking, what's going on with the third quarter. There's your answer. It's not, Drew had a good game. He shot over 50%. It's not, there's only so much you could do. Derrick Rose, I think he led the team in assists, but your starting point guard gave you 5. Quick played a lot of minutes, and credit to him for really getting out there and pushing the pace when he could. But as a team, it all starts at the top. And I want to look at this game like on the bright side, we kept our balance with these Nets, who's 15 and I think 6, something like that. And they're a solid team. Good on the Knicks. But when you look under the surface and you see, the Harden got his, and we had no answer. Trae Young, he got his, and we had no answer. You start peeling back the layers of these games, and you're like, man, there's some real serious issues with these Knicks that I don't really know if we got the answers for.
But I don't think we have the answers for it. But I think putting Kemba on the bench was the first start.
Right.
And then we'll see if they can try to pull the defense together. I thought the defense played well. I don't know. We'll see if we can find some answers throughout the season. Steph, you have any thoughts as to what Ali was saying?
I think that was the point of the move, to put Burke in to help our perimeter defense. I think that he's right. The perimeter defense hasn't been great all season. Once the guards get into the lane, now you're in deep, heavy rotation, and you're leaving 3-point shooters open. I think Tibbs recognized that, and I think that was part of the move to bring Burke in to get better perimeter defense. Listen, you're not going to stop Harden. You're not going to stop Durant. You're not going to stop any of those guys. What you're hoping to do is that they have an inefficient game and that they don't drop 50. And I think we did that. We lost to a very good team by 2 points, and we hung in there. So, Sam, to answer your question, before I got on, I do think this could be a turning point for the Knicks. But I felt that in there was another game earlier this season. I don't know if it was Chicago or whatever, where I said, wow, we played really well. I think we got our mojo back. I think this could be a turnaround, and it didn't happen. So this is a second opportunity, and I think we'll be better. I think we beat Chicago and Denver. So I think we'll be fine.
That's what we got coming up next. Chicago and Denver.
Next and then Denver.
Yeah.
Chicago next and then Denver.
So, Ali, where you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. You had a story when you first came. There's you were saying something about the MBK. Your first time.
Oh man. Oh God. Yeah. So, a few years ago. This is I guess now it's probably 2 years ago. I had that one of NBK's videos on my homepage on the YouTube, and I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I got Knicks all over my house. My room, everything Knicks. And so I'm like, yo, I didn't know there was, post-game coverage from the fans and stuff. That was crazy,
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. So I click on the video, I'm joining in, and Sim is doing a phenomenal job. And the thing that was like crazy to me, sometimes I try to call in, 98.7 ESPN, and I'm like trying to get my thoughts out and hang up the phone immediately. And no chance. Sim gives everybody the chance to talk, get their ideas out. And I was like, this is where it's at. This is the truth. So salute to Sim, salute to that for sure. And I've been watching ever since. If I can't make it on the live, I got the replays pulling on the on the TV afterwards. If I'm there on the live, I'll be on the chat. But it's just this family has been crazy. So I love every bit of it.
Appreciate you, Ali.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. What did you guys think about the last play of the game where Randle had the ball? Durant had the ball. First of all, I thought he got the ball too easy. I would have liked to see more pressure from Randle, to stop him from getting the ball. You're probably not going to stop him, but just a little bit more pressure than he gave him. But then when he had the ball, and maybe that was by design, knowing now that they sent the double team, they sent Rose the double team. Maybe it was by design that he got the ball a little bit easy. Right. So he gets the ball kind of wide, easy. Then they send Rose on the double team. Steph, what did you think about that move?
I loved it. I loved it. How many times do we see the ball in the best player's hand for him to take the last shot? And how many teams allow that to happen instead of sending the double team, get the ball out their hands and have somebody else beat you? And he did. But you take that chance.
Right.
That the guy is not either going to miss the shot or get fouled and miss the free throws, and he just happened to hit them. But I like that.
Yeah. What you think about it, Ebru?
Well, just to add on what Ali was saying, man, we let these guys off the hook, man. So I feel like we did a great job of doing the double team, but once it got to Johnson's, what was it, James Johnson?
Yeah,
James Johnson.
Once it got into his hands,
James Johnson,
nobody stepped up to stop the ball.
Right.
They let him come all the way to the basket, and that's been the theme every single game. All of our losses, we seem to let everybody off the hook, especially today, man. I feel like guys were just walking right up to the basket, that was killing us all game, man. So, yeah. And then it's like from quarter to quarter, it's so different. We don't know what's happening. And then that fourth quarter, we have so much spacing. It's like what is so different between the fourth quarter, third quarter, second quarter, first quarter? So it's somewhere in between there is the Knicks. Somewhere in between all those lines is the real New York Knicks team.
Right.
I'm just waiting for them to figure it out because like I said, letting these guys off the hook, like the James Hardens of the world and whatever, they're gonna score. But the thing about it, you can't let them just sail into the basket like that. How many like that putback dunk that Harden had?
Oh my God!
What's the name? Mitchell Robinson was right there, and who else was next? There was two Knicks standing right there, and nobody put a body on him. So I mean that to me is unacceptable, man. So I feel like these guys watch tape. Tom Thibodeau's the tape king. They watch a lot of tape. He's standing up the whole game, watching, yelling and screaming. Somebody need to say something. We got all this coaching staff and all these video people out there. These little things that annoy me it's like unbearable. Because like if we can get these little things together, that would basically solve all of our problems. And then we will not be in situations like this where we're losing a game like this where we shouldn't be losing it. And not necessarily from like a good team like the Nets. It's any team. Orlando. Doesn't matter who we play. It's always the same thing, man. We always are letting guys off the hook for simple stuff that we can easily eliminate. It's not so simple as just taking Kemba out. Because like I think me and Steph, I was in the Queen's Court just now. She had to isolate herself in the corner over there. So I was keeping her company over there. But that's what we were saying. It's like, come on. It's like so many things that we can easily clean up. That it's so frustrating to see that as a fan, man. We just hope that that they can just make these adjustments, man, so we can continue to go in a positive way going forward.
Yeah. So can I say something else about that last play? If you're gonna double team KD, what is he's gonna look to pass? The Knicks act surprised, like they was one step slow. In terms of what was gonna come next.
Right. Right.
So you would think that he's gonna pass. Maybe you hedging a little bit. Maybe you trying to get a steal. Maybe he just went, got the ball, and here come Mitch with the foul. Like they was caught by surprise that he passed it.
It was like, oh my
Right.
God, did that work? Did that actually work? Like, oh man.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, what's his name? Can't find it now. Eddie, he said, can we give Nets credit for just being a better team?
We could have got this one though. We could have got this.
We could have got this one. Yeah. There's Nets fans in the chat right now. There's another guy that's screaming out, "Go Brooklyn, go Brooklyn."
Yo, can the Nets fans give me a starting lineup?
I should ban them. I should ban Brooklyn.
The Nets fans don't even know who was starting for their team before the game started. They know Harden, they know Durant, and they don't know nobody else.
I thought Blake was still in the lineup.
Right, so Blake was still out there.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like? Do you feel like it's just the Nets are a better team, or we really just take this one away?
We gave it away. We had an opportunity.
We had an opportunity.
I mean, both. They're a better team overall right now,
Uh-huh.
but we could have got this one.
Yeah, record-wise,
gave it away.
record-wise. But I mean, we played Chicago, and we beat them. People were saying that they were better than us because of the record. But the record doesn't mean anything. Because look at Washington. Washington is like one of the top teams in the East. At least in the beginning of the year, but they're not a top team. So time will tell with all that stuff, man. But you got to give credit where credit's due to these teams, whatever. But I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm not giving nobody credit, man. It's like I feel like our guys have it. We have it. We just got to figure it out, man.
Yeah. Right now we sit at 7th in the Eastern Conference. We're 11-10. We're behind the Charlotte Hornets. They're 13-10. We're actually tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're also 11-10. Then on top of the division, on top of the conference, is the Brooklyn Nets. They're 15-6. Chicago's 14-8. Miami is 13-8. The Wizards are 13-8. Milwaukee is 13-8. And then the Charlotte Hornets are 13-10. So we play Chicago next. Is that at home?
Yes.
That's home, right?
Yeah.
That's home. Based on our roster right now and how we look right now, how do you feel about us going up against Chicago with our rotations the way they are right now?
We win. I mean, I really think that even before the Kemba move, I thought the Knicks were trending in the right direction. They had some things they needed to work out, but I was feeling much more encouraged by their defense. I think since the Indiana game. Hasn't been perfect, but since that game, I've been feeling a bit more encouraged about it. And we're still trying to work some things out right now. I like Rose, Burks, and Randle in the lineup. It puts a lot of pressure on the opposing team's defense, and I think that's how we closed. I think Quickly might have been in there as well. But yeah, I like our chances against Chicago. When you look at this Knicks roster, 1 through 12, if they ever get it together, they're going to be a dangerous team. Because talent-wise, they have it, in my opinion. When you consider the starting lineup and the bench, they're one of the deepest teams in the entire NBA. If they get in top 10, top 11 defense, and that offense starts rounding into shape, the Knicks are going to be right there.
Yeah. Ebru, what do you think? That Chicago game.
Well, the Chicago game, I'm looking at the last game they played. It was against Charlotte. They actually scored 133 points. Now, the killer with that is that Vucevic had 30 points and 14 rebounds. That's a three-headed monster. Now, before, we only played them against, Zach LaVine and DeRozan. But basically, all three guys had over 25 points. So that's a big thing right there. So, we're going to have a work cut out for us, but we just got to, we just can't allow the secondary guys to hurt us. Because what's that? The Jones guy, he hurt us last time. A couple of other these guys that you never heard of. They're the ones that always destroy us, man. So, it's going to be a good game, but I think we should win. I'm not afraid of none of these guys. I'm not even afraid of Zach and DeRozan because I feel like we have the bodies to face them. But the thing is, we have to instead of like trying to stop them all the time, we need to figure out how we're going to attack them. Because that's to me, I think that's like the main focus. We get so lost on offense, man. I feel like that's the way that we can actually pull that off.
Yeah, looking at the competition that we have coming up in Chicago and then Denver. Denver's not really playing that well right now, right? Are you concerned about the adjustments that the Knicks might have to make, or do you think there's not that many adjustments with Burke moving into that starting lineup?
Offensively, you mean?
Yeah, I guess it would be offensively. Probably not. Yeah, offensively.
Going into the Chicago, specifically for the Chicago game?
Well, just the upcoming game. How much of an adjustment do you think the Knicks team, the team as a whole, is going to have to make with Alec Burks now being the starter? Do you think that's going to affect their play at all?
I mean, he's definitely a different type of player. Like Kemba, as much as we may have complained about him offensively, he smoothly fits into the offense. Burke is a fireball. He's a very dynamic player. He kind of changes things a bit offensively. So yeah, I think it is going to take some adjusting with him, at least offensively.
Yeah. What do you think, Eru? Do you think there's going to be a lot of adjustment as we play these tougher teams? It would have been so much better if we were playing bums. You know what I mean? Playing a bunch of bums coming up, and then to make this adjustment. But we're playing really good teams that have really good coaching, and know how to take advantage of a team's weaknesses. Do you think there's going to come a point that the Knicks really go through a heavy adjustment with having Alec Burks being the starter? Because, a lot of times a team makes an adjustment and it just gives you an emotional boost. Right? You get a little emotional boost and you play better, and then reality sets in, and now you're figuring out how to work together.
Right.
So do you think there's going to be some adjustments coming up that we don't see right now that may affect them, especially playing these tough teams?
But just like today, the spacing more than anything, it was a killer. I feel like as soon as Julius Randle gets the ball up, he's looking right at the guy like this, like, yo, man, could you back up a little bit? Let me get some motion going. So I mean, I feel like once because Burks is there, Burks is very aggressive. The problem with Walker is that Walker needed to pick. He needs certain things to happen in order for him to be aggressive.
Right.
But Burks already has that. So the thing with the Knicks really is that they just have to space it out a little bit better. They did a great job in the fourth quarter with the spacing. So if we can mimic that, get guys a little stretched out a little bit further, that way to get them driving lanes and passing lanes, that type of thing. If we can do that, I think we'll be successful, man. Because it's not really something that we have to like Walker. We have to get a new talent involved into the offense. Like Burke was he was our closer last year. The reason why that didn't last for so long is because he was hurt a lot. So I think right now he's basically like grooming into, and it's weird too because he's like 30. What is he? How old is he? Like 30?
I think he's 29.
He's 29.
I think he's 29.
Yeah, I feel like
but he's always been hurt. He always he's constantly hurt.
Yeah,
always hurt.
His whole career's been like that.
Yeah, his whole career.
Yeah, but it's good now that he's coming into his own as a Knick. So hopefully, they can just start blossoming from that.
Yeah. But you bring up something interesting. You talk about if he gets hurt a lot. What if he gets hurt? What do we do? Where are we going now?
Yeah, what do we do?
Quickly, I guess. All rolls.
Real quick take. If Burks is our starting point guard and we have that extra couple inches in size at the lead guard position, I think that might lead itself really well against this Chicago game, who likes to have Vucevic space out the floor at the 5.
Right.
Maybe we're going to see the Knicks throw out a smaller lineup because they have more size at the guard spot, so they can shrink up more at the forward spot. You might see that happen. That's something worth watching. Maybe we're going to see Obi get the minutes he deserves. Maybe finally we can say free Obi. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think now that we know that Rose isn't going to be starting at 6'3", we can have Burks start at 6'5", and then we don't have to play Noel crazy amount of minutes. We can have maybe Julius cover Vooch, and then we can switch it up, and maybe we can hold off Chicago from shooting from left and right. That's going to be a major key to that game.
Yeah, I mean, it is major. His size is definitely a big key to that game because you remember the previous game, whoever Kemba was guarding was able to shoot over him easily. Yeah. If it was Lonzo Ball could pass over him, shoot over him. If DeMar DeRozan was on him, he could easily get into the mid-range, and pull up a jump shot. That size is it definitely means the world. But if he gets hurt, if he gets hurt and he goes out, now, I mean, does Kemba come back into the rotation, or do we, you elevate Derrick Rose and then I guess Quentin Grimes steps in and starts to get major play until Burks comes back or something like that is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah. Anybody else want to step up to the mic and give us some input? I want to know what you guys are thinking. I know somebody wants to step up and say something.
You just depressed me, man.
Who we got stepping
That point
up?
guard
Somebody
situation.
stepping up. Somebody stepping up to the mic.
I'm back.
Eric Ellis
I'm
back.
I'm still steaming. I'm still steaming about this loss.
Yeah.
I'm still steaming.
What you steaming about now, man? What you steaming about now?
Free throws, man. 25-12.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, and you need to tell me that you're gonna give an explanation to Julius Randle saying, "Oh, your contact for you doesn't affect how you shoot the ball, but for others it does." Wait a minute. Hold on. I thought you're supposed to call it straight down the middle. You cannot be having favoritism left and right. What's going on? You're giving James Harden like ticky-tack fouls left and right. Meanwhile, Alec Burks is getting them all left and right in the paint. And what? Nothing? What are we doing?
So you think Julius Randle was justified with that technical foul, the way he was acting?
It was building up. But at the same time, you cannot get emotional at that time of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe in the first quarter, okay, maybe, or second quarter, maybe, but not in the fourth quarter. In that 2 minute stuff in the game, it's a tight game,
right,
going back and forth, deep. And I said this early before the game. It's like Knicks gonna have a good start. Nets gonna have push the lead in the second quarter. Knicks gonna push back, take the lead. Then the Nets gonna go on the big third quarter run as Knicks usually do. Give up big. Go to in this third quarter slump. I call it the third quarter of doom. And then the fourth quarter, the Knicks gonna come back slowly, and then we have a rough and tumble fourth quarter. And guess what? We had a rough and tumble fourth quarter down to the last couple of seconds, and he had another ticky-tack foul from Mitchell Robinson, which he claims that he was pushing the back.
Yeah.
So, but what I look forward to is that I like the rotations that he said, that Tip said. I would have liked to have Grimes play more minutes, like I said earlier. He only played 3 minutes, but I didn't stay because RJ had played 9 minutes because of the illness. But I would have liked to see Grimes play a little bit more minutes because it's just the defense and just to contain James Harden a little bit more in the fourth quarter, and also Kevin Durant, just because of this length. I thought Randle played a really good game. Also Burks played a really good game, but also kind of needing a little bit more from the others. I know Derrick Rose, he put Rose and Grant in quickly. You know what you're gonna get from them, so we wasn't worried about that. But we was looking for that other scorer, just get the Knicks over the hump in the game.
Yeah. That would have helped to have, I mean, Rose did some, Rose scored a little bit. He shot well from the field. He had 16 points. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in double digits. RJ Barrett would have helped out a lot because he's switchable. You know what I mean? You can switch RJ Barrett onto Harden, or you can switch him around to play different positions. So having RJ Barrett in the second half, or missing RJ Barrett in the second half, I think was huge for the Knicks. But we'll see what's gonna happen going on, man. Going on in the next couple of games. It's gonna be a ride. I can tell you that.
Also,
Alec Burks at that point guard spot, seeing what's going to happen on the bench, it's going to be something to watch.
Also, they want to take a couple pictures before they head out because they got to work early in the morning.
Yeah, no doubt. I think everybody got to get out of here and go to work early in the morning. We're about to handle that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Thank you for being here with us. Now, everybody, thank you to Legends. Right? Legends always opening up. It's a great spot for us. Always opening up for us. Thank you very much. Yeah, without a doubt. Thank everybody that's here. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head out of here. All right. Be safe on the trip home. And I will see. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna be able to do a shoot around tomorrow because I'm gonna be on the road, so I won't be able to do a shoot around. But I'll definitely be on. What's tomorrow? Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday for the game.
I'll be on Thursday. We play Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play Thursday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Peace. Spread love, ladies and gentlemen.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.